Time now to take a look at the weather forecast heading into the long weekend. We have a gorgeous day today. We're at 19 right now with a mix of sun and cloud. We'll see 27 for our high. There could be some humidity to contend with this afternoon, down to probably about 20 overnight here in Ottawa. We do have likely some unsettled weather overnight. Could see showers, possibly a thunderstorm as well into early tomorrow morning, and then a mostly cloudy day for you tomorrow in Ottawa. 27 degrees for the high.
My phone starts to go off, and it was people in our community. So we're connected, Sequoia Community Church is connected to a couple of housing communities in Barrhaven. And our friends there started to say, "We need help, come help us. Are you coming to help us?"
When the Derecho first came through, I actually wasn't home at the time, and a neighbor of mine, I live just east of Navan, which is one of the communities that was hit particularly hard. A neighbor called and he said, a tornado came through. And I said, "Oh, a tornado came through Ottawa?" And he said, "No, down our street." Because at the time, that's all, we didn't realize that it was a storm that had affected the whole city, and that was sort of the extent of the damage. Like, it was hit really hard. And then right away, my brother-in-law, who's a farmer, he called and said, I've got to go. The barn's down on cows here. And then I got another call. And really quickly I realized, okay, it's not just our street. This has hit sort of a significant portion of my ward, of my community.
It was a mix of emotions, a bit of like an opportunity for us to be able to reach out, but at the same time, a little bit of anxiousness as to what do we do when we don't have any power, and how are we supposed to help when we don't even, have power to be able to, possibly use the building as we normally would.
I think my emotional part of that was, it reminded me of 2018, reminded me of the tornado. And we had responded during that time. But it was the beauty of the community coming together, and people just offering to help. We had people showing up with generators, with food, and it was just an amazing time for me and humbling to see people just respond.
My ward is served by both Hydro One and Hydro Ottawa, and I was absolutely astounded at the incredible work that they did. Both, the men and women that were on the ground working almost 24 hours a day, really seeing it through until everybody in the city was restored. The administrative staff too were working around the clock, and even though there were people that were, out of power for quite some time, given the extent of the damage, I think they worked as fast as they could, and as I said, through the night, through the day, to get everybody back online. And I was there was an immense feeling of gratitude across every community for the work that these folks were doing to get us back connected to the grid as soon as possible.
So the way that, Samaritan's Purse first initially got contacted and got brought in, we had reached out to them to ask if they would be able to bring their trailers over to provide hot showers for the neighborhood. And then once that kind of started the ball rolling, there's a relationship between Respond Ottawa and Samaritan's Purse, in the sense that Respond Ottawa partnered with them during the tornado and the floodings that had happened.
And they look for a church like the Met that can actually host them. They call that a satellite church. So that's how they got connected to the Met. And so Tammy did call us at Respond Ottawa and say what's happening.
We arrived in Ottawa on Tuesday evening. The first piece of equipment that we brought up was our shower unit to be able to help residents who still are without power after 10 days to be able to have a shower and get cleaned up. We've been offering snacks and water, charging stations for their phones, just trying to get them and help them stay connected and help them feel clean and just give them a little bit of hope that they can continue on, and hopefully power will be on soon. So our main work is disaster cleanup. So for this response, it'll be things like tree debris, fences, sheds, anything that's happened on the outside of their homes that insurance isn't going to take care of. One of the main questions that we hear all the time is, how much is this going to cost me? And when we can go to them and say, this isn't going to cost you anything, that's when people get pretty emotional, because this is just such a hard time for people. So it's just a really unique service that we can offer the community.
The Lord uses these things in our lives. They're not always easy, but we're called to step up when those things happen, and to be to comfort people, to bring, love and compassion and that beautiful sense of ministry of presence. And so one of the things that I think, as Sandra has said, let's think about, what did God give us? What did He resource us with? And how can we use that in a time of crisis? Think about it ahead of time, and just give that to the Lord and say, what do you want us to do with that, Lord?